love, understanding, perseverance.
Will I be calling him brother, 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 brother?
We went to two places and you are never satisfied. So what is the essence of going out?
You know, he writes a lot. He can write. I mean, I don't have time for all those things.
I always follow up and make sure that my wife is not harassed, she's not maltreated.
The person that is coming from work will be the one that will go to the kitchen again to go and prepare the food.
All the
Me,
same, it's a nice experience sitting by your husband.
uh-uh.
Hey.
Ship is a series that will be cutting across different relationships, showing the beauty in them from friends, siblings, cousins, and parents to people dating, engaged, married, all of them. So stay tuned for more to come.
My names are Gideon Kolaole Oluwafemi.
And I am Omomi Oluwafumilola Oluwafemi.
To the glory of God, as of July 29th this year, our married clock 28 years. Uh, to just say it briefly, we met in an area in Lagos. She lived, their house, their family house was close by where we were living. And I met her as a student to one of my cousins, who then was who I can call a community teacher. That was where we met, and that was how everything started.
Well, initially, I don't have a good impression on him then because I was like, this one is too old than me. But as
How old was it that was
no,
older than you?
no, I no then I was like he said I was a student. No, I prefer a young guy like me. But you know his cousin, the community teacher, as he said, we always call him brother, brother, brother. So I was thinking, cousins, brother. So will I be calling him brother, 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 brother? So that's what initially pushed me away. But with time, I understand him very well, his maturity. So that's how everything now started.
Actually, if I may just say a few things on that. You see, at the initial stage, it was our opinion, I want to believe, was based more on peer influence because as at that time, I was a graduate working, and she and her friends were maybe school at holders trying to look for further opportunities to advance their education. And so many of them were looking at it like this guy was more of a far ahead of you. Probably it may be difficult for him to wait for you and be married to you. So I also felt it, I saw it, but it did not deter me from going ahead, showing my love to her, and eventually getting her married to myself. And God has been good unto us. And like I was saying, you see, I was more advanced, more experienced, and more knowledgeable. But one thing that impressed me about her, as at that time, I think the father was trying to get her some opportunities in ICT. And so I saw the effort and what the Baba was looking ahead to. So, I felt impressed by a father that was interested in putting our daughter on the right path and challenging a good path to the future for her. So that was the first thing. And, anytime she came for studies, I was looking at her so gentle, innocent, and beautiful. So, all those things, those were the first thing that attracted me to her. Sincerely, as at that point in time, you know, as somebody that graduated from Great Ife, some of those things did not matter to me while I was in school. And even as at the point that I was working, I met some other ladies, but I love her innocence, I love her gentleness, and it did not just start like I want to befriend this girl. No, sure, it was because at the point I saw her as someone that I needed to bring up. So, in fact, actually, even as of now, I can't rightly say how I came to tell her I love you or whatever, but I could still remember at a point that it dovetailed to that and how she reacted what she felt, that even I still needed to start talking to her, like, don't worry, like, my little sister, I was trying to convince that you don't have any problem. Most of these things she may not remember.
This is-
She may
I
not
know.
remember, but that was how everything happened then. And gradually we started moving ourselves. I started following up on her, putting eyes on the things she was doing and guiding her and encouraging her.
I remember seeing some of the letters, multiple
In
letters
fact,
that you wrote.
to the glory
Mommy,
of God.
did you ever reply any of his letters?
I did not, he writes a lot. He can write. I mean, I don't have time for all those things. I will just read, put it aside.
The truth of it is God has created us differently. What you love doing, you find it easy doing. So I love to write. There are times I can write like 7 pages, 8 pages,
Imagine.
just expressing myself, and I never bothered whether she replied or not. But my interest and satisfaction was in expressing my feelings and just passing it across to her.
So you were not even concerned whether she replied or not, right?
It was never my concern. I can only ask, did you see the letter? Have you read it? And she will react in her own way. But I was never discouraged from writing further. I don't want to really believe is the hard guy type, but it's like to her, understanding and of love is different from my own. It's because I never thought probably it meant she did not love me. But I just felt like she doesn't really feel like the outspoken type.
Like I said earlier, that then he was more mature than me. Up till now, his maturity is still much, much more than myself. So then I wasn't mature enough, but then like this man is mature than me, understand me. That means he'll be able to handle me. So that was my major motive then. That all those my mates, by the time they will say one thing, I will say another thing. Maybe it will turn to scatter everything. But this man, if I could say something, even though it's not to his way, I believe that he will have the patience to understand me. So that was my major motive there.
The funniest thing is, like I said, in me, from deep within me, I just see her as somebody that I love and I must protect, and nothing should happen to her. So I see myself as being on a mission, not looking at what I gain or what she does. I just love her. I love her. If she herself can testify, I don't usually like her being far away from me. Sometimes if she wants to travel, she knows that I do complain, or if she's there and we agree, okay, I'm coming back tomorrow, and by maybe midday I call, are you coming? I say, what are you still waiting for? You know you are coming today. So I see her as somebody that I love to be with, and I'm satisfied having her around me. Well, personally, there are lots and lots of fun memories. But you see, like as we are here now, deliberating on some things from the past, I do remember most of those things than she does, because I saw those periods as periods of showing her my love and trying to bring out the true her. So there has always been opportunities, and there have always been, and there will always be, for me to show that don't worry. So sometimes she acts in a way that I just laugh, and I'm just amazed that you. So I've seen that all the while we have continued to grow like that. Of me always having a reason to draw her up closer and encourage her. And as she is, she's not so dependent of me, like in taking decisions. But I know that whatever I tell her, she always trusts in my opinion, and she doesn't act like, what are you saying or what are you talking. When it gets to that point, she always refer and say, come and look at this. There's never been anywhere she works that we are not there together, because anything happen. In fact, at a point she worked somewhere that people were saying, and you should not always tell your husband. I say, who should she now tell? I always follow up and make sure that my wife is not harassed, she's not maltreated, and even within the family, within the church, and anywhere, even with my children, I don't allow them to harass my wife. So that has always been fun and loving to me.
What about you?
With the glory of God, the journey has been so far, and God has been helping us. And being there always and caring, I could never forget about that. While I was pregnant with my first uh, son, firstborn then, I wasn't working. When I've gone, I'll be at home. My friend lived closer to us. During the day, I would have gone to visit my friend, play. When it was time for me to come back home, I would have been washing my time. Then that my mom will soon be back home, and I will not have prepared anything. So I'll just rush home. When I get home, I'll just go inside. Our neighbors, yeah, we'll be letting, but mo lọ kọ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi ni. Ó máa látẹ̀ẹ̀kan, ẹ má worry, mo ṣáà ti dé nsìn. So immediately I just get home like this, lock the door, I will just lie on the bed, pretend as if I'm so tired. And when he will now come, knocking the door, mommy, mommy, mommy. Because I've not prepared anything. So I'll just pretend. I say, what is wrong with you? I say, I'm not feeling fine. Being so caring. Kí ló ṣe é? And there's no phone then. I believe if there was phone then, you would have been calling me every moment, every moment. I say, I'm so tired. Pẹ̀lẹ́ kí wá ló ti dé? I've not eaten anything. Ó ti jẹ kọ́kọ́ látẹ̀ẹ̀kan. Kí ló máa jẹ? I say, anything. The person that is coming from work will be the one that will go to the kitchen again to go and prepare the food. You still be asking me, ṣé máa jẹ nínú ẹ̀, máa jẹ tẹ́ bá fún mi. He will cook, I will see it. So I now be thinking within me that I didn't have married my age mate then. Hey, bó jẹ́ kúkú, bó jẹ́ ìgbà létí ìgbà lójú. So the understanding, the love, the caring that was there then. There's no time that I will remember that moment. I say, ìyá Dàpọ̀, ìwọ náà ti ṣe. In fact, even though if I inform most of my friends, èyí gan náà, in fact, ọkùnrin kan ló lè gbà látẹ̀kan tí ò jẹun tó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wà ní tó ẹ̀kan tó máa wọ kitchen. I thank God for my life. So those memories, I could never forget about it.
Do you have anything to say about that particular time?
Well, unfortunately, I can't remember actually this one. Like I said, since we started, I've always felt like adding more, doing more. I've always seen myself as not doing enough just for her to know. Initially I was quite aware that some of her friends felt like, this one, you are deceiving yourself. So part of my concern was to prove them wrong. And then you see, naturally, I'm not a hard person. I could remember then, anytime I traveled to my parents at Ife, I was always coming back with bags of fruits, preparing things for her. In fact, the various kinds of fruits, just to make sure she always had. Then I remember then there was always money for her because oftentimes she would not want to eat the things that she had available. And I understood. So I was always making money available just to make sure that whatever she needed, she had and everything was okay. Well, I could understand that question to me like, where are the areas that you would have loved your partner to improve?
Yeah.
Well, I thank God for everything because as it is, or as it were, we have grown to understand each other to the point like the things that could cause problem about me, she understands and she learns to step down.
Yeah.
The areas that I know that probably I'm pressurizing her more than necessary, I know I will just end up laughing and we go back and then we may come back and still talk about it. But I think to the glory of God, one thing that I know her for, she complains that I talk too much. Like, you have said it once. And I used to tell her, like a child of God that I am, if I feel like you should not do something, and I've spoken about it, I expect an instant adjustment. But truly, it may not work out outrightly like that. But well, so that will always make me to say, I've said this thing. Put it down, remove it, take it. You say, you have said it once, don't worry. I say, I bet you need to let me know that you understand what I'm saying, and then you act on it. So, but that area, sometimes I say, then we just laugh it off and they will forget about it. Eventually, she'll still do that. And sometimes, even if I feel like, okay, say, you too, you can take it, and I take it. I don't see it as if there are some chores that are purposefully for her. Nothing she does. If she wash, I can assist her to wash. And some other times she can be washing and I will just be doing some other things. She will not complain. Some other times I will go to the kitchen, wash the plates. And some other times I may just be looking. It may be for me to help her stir some food or whatever. But one sure thing is I always love to be around her.
As Riley said, he's talking too much. I said, ẹ ti máa ń complain, ẹ ti máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ jù. Ilé ìtẹ̀sọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn mo ti gbọ́. I cannot beat you. But is this talking that I will continue? So that you'll be able to understand what I want. So that's and I don't really I think that it's talking too much is something that at least he wants me to be a better person. That is why. But to me, I just felt that talk too much.
That's the way she says it. But we will just summarize on that. We are not the celebration type. Particularly, I myself, I don't really dig going out, going to eateries. Even much earlier in this relationship, I could remember any of our children when it is their birthday. I can just support. Okay, take. They go anywhere they like, and they don't complain because they know me. I don't give in to much of that. But anywhere they want to go, as much as it's affordable, I support and they go. You know, earlier on, before we got married, I could remember on 2 occasions that we went out. You see, she is more of a perfect person. She cooks well, and so we went somewhere and we were served rice dishes, and she looked at it and complained that the chicken was not well done, and it resulted in an argument. We had to abandon the food and we left. Another occasion, we went to a place. We ordered the turkey pepper soup, and the thing was not fair. I know she doesn't really like that kind of raw meat, so she complained. So I think since then, the urge to go out died in me that we went to 2 places and you are never satisfied. So what is the essence of going out? So that probably must have, made me to forsake all those areas. But if they want to go on their own, or I go, I buy some things. But as far as the anniversary is concerned, I can't remember any time that we say, oh, today's anniversary, bring out wine or we cook. But for birthdays, we do celebrate that.
Once in a while, maybe when the anniversary clock a round figure, like when it was 10, 20, and just sometimes I'll put it on social media, just help me appreciate God. Just after that, nothing much.
And now we are approaching 30.
You have to do something.
The glory of God.
Glory.
Well, to the glory of God, love, understanding, perseverance. I could remember, you see, I used to read a lot because I don't read as I used to read. Before the marriage, even since my higher institution days, I do read a lot, and I could remember one particular article that I read that in the UK, they conducted a research that they discovered that marriages broke, homes broke when it was like 5 months to 5 years or something like that. That they were now asking questions. Somebody will say the husband maltreated the wife did not respect the husband, and they said a lot of things. And one person will now conclude, they said, the only thing that matters is from the day of your coming together, just conclude in your mind that nothing will break my marriage. That this marriage, nothing will break it down. So whatever situation, whatever storm, whatever mountain, whatever challenge, as far as sustaining a home, it is very necessary that one has that at the back of his or her mind that whatever the situation may be, whatever the challenge, whatever the affliction, this union will not break up. And it will go a long way to help in the situation. And whenever and anytime such situations arises, there is an inner will telling you that this option is out of it.
To the glory of God, there's nothing one can achieve in this life without God being backing such person up. So I believe it is God because before I go married in my area, in my environment, you say, ọmọbìnrin yìí àwọn ò rò pé ó lè because I won't take nonsense. Àwọn ò pé eléyìí àwọn ò rò pé eléyìí ó lè gbé nílé ọkọ pẹ́ I've been hearing all such comments. And I came from polygamous home. Ọ̀rẹ́ sẹ́ tí n bá lọ báyìí tí mo tún lọ padà wá ní sáwọn ẹ̀yà àti sọ náà pé kò lè dúró nílé ọkọ kò lè last. And then màá tún mọ̀ pé if I decide to come back, where will I stay? Already, I have a lot of siblings at my back. So that has always been at the back of my mind. That whatever it may be, we will settle it out.
If I may quickly add to that, you see, one of the things that I've said about understanding, she mentioned that she is from a polygamous home. So I took time to look at how they lived in their home. And I tried to analyze the differences between our own background and my own background. And that helped me to understand that if she came out from this place, definitely I shouldn't be expecting her to understand the same way with me that I came from a home where it's my father, my mom, and all of us, we center around our father. They in their home, I understood that it's their mothers that were their rallying points, not the father. So it really helped me.
The most important thing is that if it is marriage, if it is a courtship, you have to put everything in God's hands. Because it's only God that can see someone through. Not by wisdom, not by your own understanding, but by the power of God, you'll be able to achieve a lot, even more than what you are begging for, what you are expecting. So if you could put God behind all things that you want to do, automatically you will come out successful. And then patience is also the most important thing in marriage. If you cannot be patient enough, the marriage will not be able to last. If our own parents then, I can remember then, my mom would be saying that my uncle, sometimes we shouted at her, beat her, that the way that my mom was taking care of my dad, he expected her to do the same to them then. We say that, àmì ò lè gba nonsense yẹn until I got into the institution. Though I don't have thank God I don't have troublesome in-laws then now. So, but I could now understood what my mom was saying then. And táwọn bá ti jà, táwọn ti lọ, á sọ pé ìyá yín ti kó yín sílẹ̀. So, understanding patience really matter in a marriage. So young girls of nowadays, if they understand each other, if they understand their partners, then be patient enough. I believe they'll be able to go
So if I will quickly add to that, see, God is the author and finisher of all of us, and God is the one that started the institution of marriage. So definitely, the nitty-gritty, you must seek Him to understand it. And patience, just like she has rightly said. Another thing that's very important is that people set too high expectations. Don't overstretch your expectations. Just look at anyone, like we are all mere human beings, but there's always room for improvement. And believe that things will always get better. So I believe with that, God will help relationships through in Jesus' name. Well, I am more of a preacher, a pastor, so it may not mean much to me, but then I understand what it means to feature in a program like this. And you could see that the pressure was not much on me. Yes, so it's a nice experience. And such that I will always appreciate a return opportunity.
Mommy, what about you? This has and this is my first time. So I could just say that, yeah.
All the same, it's a nice experience sitting by your husband. you know,
Thank God.
presenting Mrs. Omowumi Oluwafunmilola. You know that Oluwafunmilola, she did not bring it from their home. I was the one that gave that name. That God has honored me with that. So Oluwafemi. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.